Monday, we told you about a move out of the Oklahoma legislature that would ban advanced placement U.S. history courses at public schools across the state. Why, you ask? Well, State Representative Dan Fisher introduced an emergency piece of legislation that would prohibit every public school teacher across the entire state from teaching the course. He says the history lessons are unpatriotic and fail to teach American exceptionalism. Those his words. He also went on to say the class focuses too much on the negative things about America's past as opposed to the positive things. And Monday, we asked you at home to head over to Facebook and Twitter and sound off on the subject of American exceptionalism. We asked you whether you think America is the greatest country in the world here, and many of you had quite a bit to say online. Let's start off with Dakan, who says, I agree with the video clip that you guys played from the newsroom completely. No, America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. To acknowledge that, it's a step forward for us to return back to that pedestal as a great country. I believe anyone, including the politician from Oklahoma, does our country a disservice by trying to whitewash history. Chester says, as an immigrant, I do believe America is the greatest nation in the world. It's by no means perfect. Just like every other country, they do have their flaws, and political parties seem to cause more problems than fix them. We are a country of different opinions and views, some good, some bad. We don't make it work. Rosalind says, we're no more exceptional than any other nation, though we would like to believe that we are. If this question were asked of any nation, most might say they're exceptional, but we are all human, therefore we all struggle for perfection. That's almost impossible to achieve, but should always be strived to obtain. And Dina says, no place is perfect, but I wouldn't live anywhere else. And guys, we had an interesting conversation on this, Andrew, and you remind us of that clip from the newsroom, which I really thought set it up well. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else here, but again, this debate about whether or not you can say the problems that you have as a country, acknowledge where history hasn't always been great as a country, I think that's part of what America is, although certainly the legislator from Oklahoma wouldn't agree. As
well as a lot of others, including Rudy Giuliani, given his comments about President Obama, one of the other things that sparked this conversation. I gotta hats off to the RFL viewers on this one. This is a fairly nuanced point, especially in our national dialogue these days. And you know, really, I'm honored that we have these kinds of viewers who are nuanced enough to make that case. I'd like to see more of that kind of thinking across the country. I think it would really enhance our national dialogue. You know, we were talking earlier, Dom, and Henry made the point, a lot of this was really changed after 9/11. You know, after 9/11, especially where it was a different kind of attack than we'd ever seen before, not just on American shores, but by this enemy that didn't wear a uniform, and you couldn't talk about bad things. You couldn't question things. And there's still a hangover from that, isn't there?
No doubt about it, Richard. And that's something that perhaps we should have brought up last night, that the sentiment, that everything changed after 9/11. But I think I would agree overall with the sentiment that was expressed by the folks on Facebook. Great country. I think all of us feel it's at the top, and that we wouldn't live anywhere else.
But again, what we like here is you got a platform to say how you can make it better. And I don't think, and this is where I part company with our Oklahoma lawmaker, saying where you're not perfect, but to strive for the more perfect union. That was what the whole idea behind the Founding Fathers, why they even came here in the first place. But anyway, I digress. Up next, we will have a look at news making headlines in the Valley. Stay with us.